Trying seems useless and love seems foreign. I hate everything I have become. I'm a cliche caricature of myself. A whining, sniveling idiot who would have done well to be a beautiful little fool like Zelda hoped for smartly. I think this is what my father was alluding to when I told him I was exactly the monster he raised me to be, and he said I know I did it wrong. That was reassuring, I thought to myself, with sarcasm drenching my lies to even myself. He probably did raise me wrong. He told me I could do anything a boy could do, and maybe even better, but later in life, I learned the hard way that that was a long, hard, and lonely road. A decade deep into adulthood, and all I had under my belt were some blown-up relationships.
He should have told me that the men were going to eat me alive.
I remember one time he said, "Well, you have had a rough time at it, but it's just been due to the end of bad relationships. You just take them all to the extreme." This conversation happened after another of my big mess-ups. I think this was his version of a motivational speech. I think the speech was after divorce 2, well, technically divorce 3, but only if you count the divorce my first husband and I canceled. Yes, it was so easy to get divorced the first time that we did it twice. I do almost everything twice and almost always have. I also never always do anything and almost only counts in horse hose, hand grenades, and high school love affairs, so go figure that out if you can. I do things with intensity. I used to have passion and enthusiasm for life. My principal told me when I got my first full-time teaching job that he hired me because of my enthusiasm. I have heard other people say they cannot stand me because of this same enthusiasm. It's ironic that our biggest strength is oftentimes also our biggest weakness, but then again, not much surprises me anymore because more often than not things are the opposite of what they first seem to be. Like nice men often turn out to be jerks, love breaks your heart, and just when you think you're starting, you stop. I seem to have no control over my actions lately. I'll say I'm going to go do something with every intention of getting it done, but then the next thing I know I'm doing something else completely. I said aloud to myself alone the other day, "You'd think I have control over the things I do, but honestly, I feel like I have as much control over myself as I have privacy." I had not thought about it. I just said it, and as soon as it came out it seemed so true and telling and haunting, and I cannot quite say why, but I am certain there is some correlation here. Have you ever lost it all? I have a time or two, and I used to say I would recommend it, and maybe I still do, but I'm so cynical these days I have been wishing and praying for death and am only mildly embarrassed to admit it. I would never kill myself. It seems like the pussy way out. I am tough. I can do hard things. And what does my kids need me? I know it seems like they won't ever need me, but things change. Think of how much has changed in the last decade or so of your life. Around 10 years ago, I had everything I wanted. Kids, career, home, friends, hobbies. Happiness floated around my beautiful life out in the country with my children. There was only one thing I didn't have, and that was true love from a guy, and I risked it all to try to get that, and I lost it all. Kids, career, home, inheritance, friends, security. I even lost my freedom, and one could argue my education was lost too. For all intents purpose, since I could not use it. There went my beautiful life, my lovely little family, my babies, my world, everything gone in the process. 10 years and 9 lawyers later, here I sit a shadow of myself.
6 lawyers.
I am sick all the time. I can barely take care of myself. I cannot get a job. I have been diagnosed with so many things that all roll up into me feeling like I'm dying, or at least wishing I was. This loss ruined me for sure. I have been broken for years, and the damage is looking pretty permanent. I used to lie to myself and say my dad did not want to help me or even live up to his promise. His word, because he did not want to steal my pain, because what comes after pain? Beauty. That's what I said to tell myself to console my sadness and disappointment. My expectations for this world were so far off that it is embarrassing. But I did not think the world would suck this bad. I never would have believed you if you would have told me. I would have laughed and said you're crazy. I am not going to be a great teacher. The most highly requested teacher, the guidance counselors, told me, only to quit because according to the State Board of Health, I was being poisoned with carbon dioxide at extremely illegal levels. 1343 ppm in my classroom when they did the air quality test. I already knew about them old and the asbestos.
Legal limit.
The head of maintenance came to my room one day at the end of 7th period and said, "Do you have a minute?" I want to show you what's going on under your classroom. I said sure and followed him as he explained, I, Onloy, have 2 years until I retire, and I cannot rizzle my pension, but I also cannot sleep at night if I don't at least show you what you're breathing. He pointed to the asbestos-covered pipes that had the sealant completely ripped and torn all over the place. The worst part, he continued, is the sheets of OSB they laid on top of the pipes to try to keep the asbestos from going up to your classroom. I was shocked.
The schools have turned into the perfect storm. Now they're competing and hiding their problems. I bet that's